Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Novel Nana. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Bex. So today, in this video, we're going to be discussing word choice and how it can reflect your tone or mood in your novel, your work in progress, or right down to the scene level or sentence level. If that sounds interesting to you, stay tuned. So today I'm just going to provide a few examples here and hopefully give you a tiny little insight on how word choice can be very impactful and can also pretty much show the reader the tone or genre or mood of your book just with one simple word choice or tweak. So without further ado, guys, we're just going to get straight into the video, okay? All right, so as you can see here on my whiteboard, don't worry if you can't read it. I'm going to be walking you through it, but I've only come up with a few examples, not the best examples, but they are just right off the top of my head, and I'm hoping that I will be able to convey what I mean by this. So I had earlier, couple weeks back, I had participated in a critique group and I had given some critiques about word choice or about vague descriptions and whatnot. And so today I'm hoping to clarify that one step further. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So my first sentence that I have up here is her feelings for him blank her judgment. So this is a very generic sentence. It doesn't do anything to show us anything about the character. It doesn't set the tone or the mood because we haven't chosen a word to fit in. So for instance sake, let's just say that this is maybe a romantic plot or type of genre. So you may say something lighthearted or, a romantical type word or vision that you might have connotation with. So her feelings for him clouded her judgment. Now, clouded is almost to the point of cliche, guys. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to show you the difference between word choice and how it can change the overall tone or mood of your sentence. So instead of using the word clouded, let's say that this is more of a psychological thriller. So you wouldn't want to say her feelings for him clouded her judgment. It does nothing to reflect the tone or mood accurately. So in this place, I might choose the word warped. So her feelings for him warped her judgment. You get a very different connotation from the word warped as you do from clouded, although they are both trying to convey that same meaning. So another one, tainted. Her feelings for him tainted her judgment. Again, guys, the connotation is different. You could also use the word skewed, but skewed and clouded, I left these on the end because these are two words that I feel, in my own opinion here, are overdone. They're overused, almost to the point of being cliche. So my advice to you out there is to choose a word that really conveys the overall tone of the scene that you are writing, or even as far as the mood or tone of your entire book or genre. So anyway, just be consistent. You wouldn't use the word clouded her judgment for maybe a horror novel. It's just not something a writer would use in that genre. They might choose a different word such as warped or tainted to reflect that. So on to the next one. His voice rang in her ears. Now this sentence is fine on its own. However, rang again, guys, is a little bit overdone, overused. Again, almost to the point of being cliche. So what word could you put in place that would best reflect the tone or the mood or the genre? So let's say I give you a few examples here, and you will get very different connotations come to mind with each word choice. So if I said his voice echoed in her ears, this might be a callback to something romantical. His voice sang in her ears. Again, the connotation is light. It's more of a positive type word. melodic. You know, it brings you into that sense, that tone, that mood. If you were to choose a word such as ricocheted, this one would be one I would feel would be more for like thriller or suspense, something along those lines. And it could very well change the mood or the tone or the connotation of the sentence, how it would affect your reader and what might come to their mind. So his voice ricocheted in her ears has a very different sound to it than his voice sang in her ears. Also, what if we changed it to reverberated or boomed or screeched? These all have very different sounds, very different connotations, and it can always reflect your genre. So just, keep that in mind. These may not be the best examples, guys, but I'm trying here to give you some off the top of my head. I literally wrote this down like 3 seconds before I turned this on. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Here's another example where just choosing the right word choice can really up that level of your writing and also up that level of, reflection of the tone or genre or mood of your sentence. So if I were to say, darling, he cooed, caressing her hand, cooed and caressing have a very soft, almost ethereal, romanticized type connotation. However, if I were to say, and just by changing 2 words, it changes the whole mood or tone of that same sentence. So, as an example, darling, he spat, snatching her hand. This gives you an altogether different image. Again, darling, he soothed, cradling her hand. This gives you, again, an altogether different mood or tone. So just depending on whatever your scene is trying to convey, just make sure that you are choosing a word choice that best reflects that. Okay, so on to the next. Keys turn in the lock. Now, this is a very common phrase, very common sentence. You can find it in most every genre, but the word turn, does nothing for the sentence. It does nothing to reflect the mood or the tone. So in being consistent with your word choice, we can really up this writing. So let's say this was a happy, uplifting, almost as like a nervous excitement. Maybe it's a romance, and someone is waiting for their significant other to come home because they have a date night planned. So there would be an excitability there. And this can be reflected in the word choice. So if we say keys jingle in the lock, that gives a very different connotation as keys rattle in the lock. Rattle to me is a more unsettling, unnerving type of word choice to use in this same sentence. It's still going to be, keys turning in the lock, but just by using the word rattle instead of turn, we get a very different picture. We get a very concrete image by the word rattle. Also, let's say keys slip in the lock. To me, this is almost sort of a underlying tone or overall mood, what you could convey just by that word choice of slip. Almost to me could be a callback to maybe a suspense or a mystery. Someone slipping into the lock, almost like unnoticed or unexpected. So slip can give a very different connotation. As far as the rest of these words I have written down, I have twist, keys twist in the lock. To me, this would be more thriller, suspense, horror, twist. The sound of the word, and it may just be me, guys, but the sound of the word really brings a connotation to mind, brings a concrete image to mind, twisting, almost like a twisting of a knife. That's where my mind goes. I'm not sure if it's the same for the rest of you guys, but anywho, just again, word choice, make it be consistent with the tone of your scene, if not the overall novel or book. So again, instead of keys turn in the lock, if you were to choose the word fumble. Now this again has a different kind of image that is brought to mind. Keys fumbling in the lock to me could represent character development, or an insight to the character. Maybe they are nervous, maybe they are scared, maybe they are anxious or excited, because when you fumble you can't quite find the lock. So this could be in, representing different genres, different tones or moods, depending on what else comes, within that paragraph or whatever. But what you want to do is make sure that whatever the case may be, that your word choice is consistent with the tone, or the mood or atmosphere. And a lot of times your word choice can help give a insight or a peek into your character, and help develop that character connection with your reader. Okay, so moving on. If we had the sentence, they were forever bonded, in and of itself, there's nothing wrong with this sentence, but the word choice here has a very solidified image in my mind, bonded, and it almost feels like more like romance, bonded. But say this was maybe a, horror or suspense or thriller or mystery, you might choose a different word choice. So if I were to say they were forever shackled, it gives you a very different image, right? So if they were forever shackled, that to me gives you a different image and doesn't seem so romanticized. Okay, so you can also choose, connected, intertwined, entwined, linked. Those three, to me, the intertwined, entwined, and linked, they do have a romantic type quality, in this sense. So, but if you choose to say bound, chained, shackled, those kind of words, I get a different vision. I get a different image. And it may not necessarily reflect the tone or mood in which your story is told. So just be very careful. You could also choose something like they were forever infused. They were forever tied, paired, joined, matched, whatever the word you choose. Just keep in mind, guys, that that word choice can really up your writing level and your skills as a writer, by bringing that reader in, immersing them deeper, or giving us some insight about your character or their motivations. Really, connecting us in a way with their feelings, with their situation, whatever it may be. You can do a lot with just a simple word tweak. That's all I'm saying. So again here, this is the very last example I will be giving, and I think you get the gist of it. So I'm not going to keep going on and on. However, I will say that as a, I don't even know the word I'm looking for here, but I guess examples maybe, as an example of something that I have found that works, at least for anger or passion, if you're trying to convey those emotions in your story through your character to your reader. I've noticed that with anger and passion, a lot of times the word choices that you use to bring these things to life, can be greatly enhanced by comparing them to, I hate to say this, but by comparing them to a flame or fire or embers. These types of words can both really depict anger or passion. And so what I mean by this is, you could say anger boiled inside of her as the same you could, or anger burned within her flesh. Or this could also be used for passion, passion burned deep within her. Or, anger scorched through her veins, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or passion scorched her to her core. Same with singed, ignited, engulfed. These are just some words that I thought, I might throw out there for you guys, possibly to help you when you are describing anger or passion. These words, you don't see them often, so they are not cliche as of yet, but it's just something to think about. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for you today. I do so hope that this type of video helps convey the message of word choice and being consistent with the tone. So anyway, I hope that you liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, guys. I've noticed a lot of my viewers are not yet subscribed. What are you waiting for? Just subscribe, guys, and show me that love. Also, if you want to know the next time that I upload, just ding that bell. It'll notify you. Usually it's on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Central Time. And that's all I have for you guys today. Be sure to leave me a comment below. Let me know what you thought of these examples or if you found value in this. I guess that's it. So I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, happy writing. Bye.